Hello and welcome everyone. This is Rashmi from Recro. Thank you so much for joining us. Hope you guys are having a lovely Saturday. Quick introduction about me. I am Rashmi again. I'm a community manager at Recro, working towards building an exclusive community for developers to help them connect with like-minded people and build their network. Those who don't know what Recro is, it is a developer focused platform helping developers meet the right opportunity by working with fast growing startups like CureFit, Udan, Swiggy, Dunzo, etc. Also, I'm sure 30 people are here and some of you would have already joined us in the previous webinars. I know we are showing up after a while, but don't worry, we are back with a full swing now, and you will see more events coming from us. So thanks again for joining us and welcome back to Recro Talks. And today we are going to talk about lazy loading in an Angular application. Our guest speaker who has joined us today is Pranam Bhatt, who is a tech lead at KPMG. Thank you so much, Pranam, for joining us and taking out the time for doing this event with us. You can go ahead and say hi to the audience as well.
Yeah, hi everyone. It's my pleasure to be part of Recro team and giving the session here. So before starting the session, I would like to introduce myself and myself, Pranam. I'm basically from Bangalore. I have 6 years of work experience as a full stack developer. Currently, I'm working with the KPMG as a lead software engineer. During my free time, I used to contribute C Sharp Corner, GitHub, Angular community, and so on. So this is about my quick introduction, and we can get started. So before we get started, let's see what is lazy loading. So lazy loading is a technique in Angular that allows you to load JavaScript components asynchronously when a specific route is activated. So basically what will happen in lazy loading is you are loading the page or component on demand. So which in turn minimize your bundle size and increase the response time when it comes to any application. So when the user navigates through the application, the bundles are loaded as required. So it improves the speed of the application, basically the load time. When I can say the load time, you might have seen while loading the application in Angular, it is taking a huge amount of time, and since the bundle size is huge, so what lazy loading will do is it will decrease your bundle size, and it will basically increase the response time. So here what will happen is loading the page will happen only when user navigates to the route of the specific respective module. So for example, I say we have home module and user module. So whenever I load the home page, at that time all the bundle file will be loaded. So when we navigate to user module or user screen, all these bundle files will not be loaded for the second time. So this is how the lazy loading works. It can contribute to efficiency in the program's operation if properly and appropriately used. So for example, there are some restrictions and there are some usage scenarios how we can implement lazy loading stuff in Angular. So that's how Angular takes the lazy loading and it delivers to the users. So before starting our lazy loading project, what I would suggest is just go through the terminal and see whether all the packages and required softwares are installed properly. For example, here I am using when I say ngv, we can see Angular CLI version is 12 and Node version, also the package manager versions. So this says, suppose if you are getting some error with the package manager or some Angular packages, then make sure you are using relevant packages or softwares which is required for building the Angular project. When I say softwares, It might be Node, it might be OS, it might be your packages, for example DevKit or RxJS or TypeScript, anything. So first make sure whether all these things are installed properly. Now we will see step-by-step guide to implement lazy loading in a sample project. So what I would say is what I'm doing here is I'm just creating the new project using ng new project name. So here I'm giving the project name as lazy loading demo. So I will just share my screen and I will show the scenario. So what I'm going to do is I am just creating a new project, ng new project name. So here I'm giving the project name lazy loading hyphen demo. So you can give any project name, whatever convenient for you. So what I'm going to do is I am just creating a new project with ng new project name. So here, since it is taking huge amount of time, I have executed this command before joining the session. Once we run this command, the project structure will look like this. So we will be having dist, E2E, node modules, SRC, and all these setup files. This is how the project structure looks like when we execute the ng project name. Next, we will go through the second command. We have to create a lazy loading module. So here, yeah. So we have to create a lazy loading module. Next step, we will create the lazy loading module as by using ng module lazy hyphen hyphen flat. So this flat command, flat flag, what it will do is it will keep the file and folder structure in SRC app folder instead of creating its own folder. I will show you how it looks like. So
we can increase the font size.
Yeah. Can you see it? So once I run this command, ng module lazy hyphen hyphen flat, this is the file which is getting generated. That is nothing but lazy.module.ts file. So this file I will show you how it looks like. This is just a simple TypeScript file which got generated when I ran new ng that command hyphen hyphen flat command. So this is the second step. Next we will see the third step. Now we have to create new components to demonstrate the lazy loading. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just creating two components, parent and child. So with the help of these two components, I'm going to demonstrate the lazy loading mechanism. So let's see how the folder structure looks like when I execute this command nggc and so this command, what it will do is it will just create lazy parent folder structure. So here you can see the lazy parent folder structure which has lazy parent .css file, HTML file, spec.ts file, and component.ts file. So this is the structure which got generated when I ran lazy parent skip hyphen hyphen import. Similarly, I will create lazy parent. Similarly, I will create lazy child skip hyphen hyphen import. So once I execute this command, this lazy child folder structure will get generated. So this structure also has lazy child component.css, HTML, spec.ts, and component.ts. So this is the structure of our component file which we are going to demonstrate the lazy loading. Next, we have to register our parent and child components in the lazy.module.ts file. So this lazy.module.ts file, which is generated at the beginning itself when we executed the lazy module. So that time itself it got generated. So we will see how to register the parent and child in the lazy module. So let's go to lazy.module.ts file. I'm just minimizing the screen and I will show you. This is the lazy module.ts file. This is how it looks like. So before we start, we just have to register the parent component here and the child component in the declarations array. So inside the ng module part, we have to declare a lazy parent component and a lazy child component. This I am giving as like import lazy parent component, and I am taking it from the lazy parent component. Similarly, the child component here. So this highlighted text shows I have taken the lazy parent component and the lazy child component from the respective path. Next step is we have to remove lazy child and lazy parent registration from the app.module.ts file. So what will happen is when we create a new project structure by default while creating the lazy module, here the unnecessary imports will get registered. Those imports we need to take care. So since I have defined everything on the lazy.module.ts file like import and declarations, we have to remove the respective imports from the app.module.ts file. So here we can see I have kept only the necessary imports. For example, browser module, ng module, forms module, and HTTP client module. So only these required imports I have kept in the app.module.ts file, and in the declarations I kept only app component. I have removed unnecessary declarations and imports. Next step is we have to point the app routing to the lazy loading module in app routing.module.ts file. So let's see how we can point in our app routing.module.ts file. So suppose I have created lazy child and lazy parent. So these are the two components I have created for showing the lazy loading. So these two components we have to register in the app routing module.ts file. So how we can point the app routing to the lazy loading module is something like this. So here in the path I am mentioning as lazy, and in the load children what I am doing is I am just giving the path import src app lazy.module, and I'm just mentioning the path where it should route. So when we demonstrate lazy loading, so here this is the point where our actual routing will happen. So this is the file which is responsible for the routing of the lazy loading. Next step is we can change our HTML files depending on our need. So first we can see how we can add the router link in the app.component.html file. So let's say, for example, I will go to app.component.html file. So this is my app.component.html file. So here what I'm doing is I'm just giving the title, and I'm just passing the value in the title field, and in the router link what I'm going to do is I'm just specifying the path, something like this, lazy hyphen parent. So when we click this load parent, it will take us to the router link. So here I am just demonstrating a simple button event, so which will take us to the this path. lazy hyphen parent path, which is defined in the router link. Next, also we can change our lazy parent and lazy child HTML files depending on our need. For example, we can see here from the folder structure, we have lazy parent and lazy child. So here we have our respective HTML files. So I'm just defining a simple HTML template here in the HTML file. So what I'm going to do is I'm just writing some text here, and similarly in the child also, in the child component.html, I just display something like this: lazy child works. So I have removed unnecessary template contents. I just kept only whatever required to display the in the page. So once we modify our HTML files, we can start running our application. So it's just a matter of running a ngserve command in the terminal. So let's go to the terminal. And I'm just executing ngserve command here. So what this ngserve command will do is, it is nothing but running our Angular project. So it is just a simple command for running our Angular application. So before it executes, I would like to explain the folder structure here. It will take some time. So in the meantime, I will I will explain the project structure, how a basic Angular project structure looks like. So here we can see the dist folder. Dist folder is responsible for the build, especially when we are giving QA or prod, any different kind of build. We can take the content from the dist folder and we can deploy it in IIS server, for example. Second one is E2E. E2 is nothing but which is responsible for our unit testing. So all the unit testing files will be present in the E2E folder. Third one, we can see node modules. So when I say node modules, when we ran the command, for example, ng new project name initially while creating the Angular project, this node modules folder will be responsible for that. So it has all the packages and libraries which is responsible for running the Angular project. Next, we have SRC folder. So in the SRC folder, we have mainly app. This app folder is nothing but our component part. Whatever the component we have created, everything reside inside the app folder initially. So next we have assets. In the assets folder, all the resources, icons, styles, everything we can place it in assets folder. Next, we have environments. So what does this environments folder will do? So this environments folder basically meant for your prod and any your local setup configuration files. It is responsible for environmental setups. So these settings, you can mention it in your angular.json file. Next, we have favicon.ico. What this favicon.ico will do is, it is responsible for, it is a icon which is responsible for displaying the icon in the browser tab. When we run ngserve command, you will see in the browser localhost, right? So in that localhost, you will see one icon that is nothing but favicon.ico. Next, we have index.html. So this index.html is nothing but it is a global HTML file which is responsible for our project template. So you can change this index.html file depending on your need. Next, we have main.ts file. This main.ts file is the starting point of your application. So when you run any ngserve or anything, any command, this is the starting point of your application. It will take you to the app.module.ts file, and from there it will start executing the code. This is nothing but starting point of your application. Next, we have polyfills.ts file. This polyfills.ts file is responsible for compiling types, TypeScript code to JavaScript methods. For example, our browser reads only in JavaScript format, so it will do all the necessary compilation part, and also it is responsible for maintaining the browser versions, compatibility versions. Next, we have styles.css file. This is nothing but our global styles file. So this one we can modify as per our need. For example, we can keep any styles here, and it will be replicated in our global template. Next, we have .ts file. So this test.ts file is nothing but which is the main unit test file. So this is the file which is responsible for unit testing when we run ng test command. So this file will take your testing commands, and it will execute. Next, we have browser list RC file. So this browser list RC file is nothing but all the our browser compatibility versions, and everything required for the browser will kept inside the browser list RC file. So this got generated in the beginning itself when we run our project, when we create our project. Next, we have editor config and git ignore. These two files we can just ignore. This git ignore file is nothing but which got generated when I pushed the code to the git repository. So this one we can ignore. And one more thing is editor config file. So this editor config file will maintain our editor configurations. For example, indentations, white spaces, all these configuration settings will be handled by the editor config file. Next, we have angular.json file. So what this angular.json file will do is, here we will define our project structure. Suppose, for example, I can define different environment setups, for example, QA, prod, or anything. So I can define it in angular.json file. So this is nothing but our project structure. This is how the angular.json file, angular.json file has. Next one is karma config.js file. This karma.config.json file is responsible for the karma test runner. This is nothing but unit testing. For unit testing, we will be using this karma config.js file. Next, we have package-lock.json file. So what this package, how this package-lock.json file got generated is when we modify something in the package.json file, or when we change some packages in the node modules, then this file will be getting generated, package-lock.json file. Next, we have package.json file. This package.json file is responsible for all the dependency versions. For example, your Jasmine, Karma, or environment, everything you can mention in the package.json file. Here you will see all the versions related to our Angular dependencies and packages. So all the versions will be mentioned in the package.json file. Next, we have readme.md file. This readme.md file is nothing but our project description in terms of what we are using, which CLI is using, we are using, and which Angular version we are using. That will be mentioned in the readme.md file. Next, we have TS configuration files. These TS configuration files are responsible for the compiling our code. This is nothing but compiling TypeScript code to JavaScript. So these files are responsible for that. This is how our project structure looks like. Now let's see our command got executed. It's the time to run our application. So I just ran HTTP localhost colon 4200. So when I ran this project, we will see lazy loading demo as a title and load parent button, which I have configured it in the parent component. So this is the icon which is responsible for our project favicon.ico. This one you will you have seen. Now what we will do is we will just use developer tools, just run Control Shift I command. So it will take you to the developer tools. So this is the developer tools. You can open it from the browser. You will be knowing this one. You can just go to this more tools and you can open developer tools, Control Shift I. So once I press the Control Shift I, developer tools will open. So I'll be going to network tab. So in the network tab, we will get to know how the actual flow is. So I'm just going to the network tab and see how it looks like. So I just clicked on load parent. When I clicked on load parent, these texts appeared from the child component route. So this is how we configured it in our lazy parent and lazy child. Now let's see what happened in our developer tools. So I am just maximizing my screen here. So you will see 921.js file. This is the chunk file. Okay, so once we run the application, when you click on load parent, you will see that 921.json on the network tab. So this is nothing but the chunk file which got generated after our lazy loading implementation. So this one you can also see under lazy chunk files in the ngserve command section. Okay, that one I will be showing. I will show you. But before that, we'll see how this chunk file got generated. So once I click load parent, okay, at that time only this 921.js file got generated. Okay, nothing else, no other bundle files. So if I clear this one and I will load again one more time as a local host 4200. Now you will see the bundle files. Okay, these are the bundle files: runtime.js, polyfills.js, styles.js, main.js, and all these bundle files are getting loaded when we land on the home page. So when we land on the home page, these bundle files got generated. Now what I will do is I will just clear this section and I will just click on load parent. Now you see there is only one chunk file, that is nothing but 921.js. This is the file which got generated after the implementation of lazy loading. So this time all the bundle files will not be loaded. So you have seen when I landed on the home page, all the bundle files are getting loaded, like main.js, polyfills, styles, all these bundle files will be loaded at the first time. When you navigate to the second page or navigate to any other router links or any events, that time these bundle files will not be loaded. So that's how we can minimize the resource, and we can increase the response time when it comes to lazy loading. So these bundle files, you can see main.js, polyfills, styles, and runtime.js. So all these bundles files will not be loaded for the second time. That's how the lazy loading works. That is the beauty of lazy loading. Now I'm going to show you in the demonstration in the in just image format how it got generated. For example, we have main.js, polyfills.js, styles.css, styles.js, and runtime.js. Here I have mentioned the size also. For example, 381 KB, 192 KB, and 148 2.54 KB. All these files will not be loaded when we implemented lazy loading for the second time. So this is how we can minimize the resources when it comes to Angular application. So here, lazy chunk files section, you can see there is only 1.27 KB. That is nothing but all the chunk files which got generated in our lazy loading implementation. So let's see in the ng serve command. So in the ng serve command itself, it says you will see main.js, polyfills.js, styles.css, and runtime.js. All these bundle files we can see in the first section. In the second section, there is a section called lazy chunk files, and it also shows the size 1.27 KB. This is nothing but which got generated when we implemented lazy loading inside the app. Here, lazy child and lazy parent. Because of this lazy loading implementation, we have generated this chunk file, and we have not loaded all the bundle files for the second time. That's how the lazy loading works. Now it's the time to verify our lazy loading implementation. For example, we have to verify whether we have successfully implemented lazy loading in our project or not. So in this case, what I will suggest is just stop the console and just run npm run build command. So when we run this command, we will get to know whether we have successfully implemented lazy loading part or not. Let's see how we got implemented, or it is implemented successfully or not. It will take some time.
Okay, Pranam, till the time it is loading, Biswa, who is one of the attendee here, is asking if we can show him a route without lazy loading so that he can understand the difference. Is it possible in this short span of time to do that?
In the sense,
So he's saying a route without lazy loading would have actually would have helped them to understand the difference. So as of now, we are telling them about lazy loading. If we do,
correct.
if we could show them how the route works without lazy loading, that would help them understand the difference between the two. So I'm not sure if the time that we have left with us
Yeah,
would suffice.
This app routing module, which is responsible for your route for navigating between the pages or lazy loading implementation. So here we have to specify the path and load children. So here you can specify whatever your path. You can mention one more path. For example, say I have another path which should go to user page or user second home page or anything. So here what I will do is I will give another path, and I will point to whatever component it is pointing to. So here we can specify the
Pranam, we lost you. Can you hear us?
path. Configure it. What happened?
No, I think we lost
So
you.
here
We
also,
lost you for a minute. We can hear you now.
yeah. So here also we can configure it. For example, in the app.module.ts file, here also we can configure it in the declarations part. So that's up to you how we can define and how we can call the lazy parent and lazy child. So either in the app routing module or app.module.ts. So now the command got executed. Here you will see the chunk files section. For example, these are all the initial chunk files which is getting generated when we load our home page. So in the second part, we have lazy chunk files. This is nothing but which says we have implemented lazy loading part. So these chunk files are responsible for lazy loading. Here you will see the size. Initial total size was 279 KB, and after that the size was 1.27 KB. Here one chunk file has only 1.27 KB. So with this we can say the resource allocation or resource time, resource size has been reduced drastically when we implemented lazy loading. Next one is another scenario we can verify is another way to verify lazy loading part is in the dist folder. So what I will do is I will just go to the project structure. Here you can see the project structure. So in the project structure, we can see 921.js file which got generated when we ran the build command. So this is the file, nothing but chunk file which got generated when we implemented lazy loading. So here also we can verify the lazy loading part, whether we have implemented successfully or not. So this is the way we can verify lazy loading in the project. Next, it's the time to go to advantages and disadvantages in lazy loading. So when I say lazy loading, the main advantage here is it minimizes the startup time of the application. For example, say I have a application which has lengthy content in the home page section. So it drastically reduces your starting time or load time when it compares to normal applications. Second one is unnecessary request to server is avoided. So here we are not loading all the bundle files for the second time. So basically we are going to improve the efficiency of the application. Third one is resource consumption. As I said, in the home page, we have seen the several bundle files which will not be required when we navigate to any other page. So this is nothing but avoiding unnecessary bundle files when it comes to resource. Fourth one is response time. Here you have seen, for example, consider an application which is taking huge amount of time because of the bundle files, main.js, polyfills, styles, runtime.js. All this bundle, because of the bundle files and because of the content, the page response will be very less. So when we implement lazy loading, it will decreases the response time and it will give you the page within a fraction of second. So that's how the lazy loading works. Next, we will see what are the disadvantages. Firstly, extra lines of code. So when I say lazy loading, we need to add some lines of code. For example, say consider our app module in the app routing module. So in the app routing module we have to specify this one, and also in the app module.es or lazy.module.es. So here this will be kind of extra lines of code when it comes to huge project. So we have to add some lines of code. That is the disadvantage, I can say. And one more thing is user experience may be affected. For example, when we are debugging the code, so suppose I want to debug at some point, and I want to see in which part it is actually breaking. So that time what will happen is this will won't give you all the files in the network tab. It will give you only the chunk files. So that might be a kind of disadvantage, I can say. Next is tips. So coming to the tips, what I would suggest is, if possible, do not lazy load routes that are most frequently visited by our users. For example, when I say there is a user login page, or yeah, there is some security concern associated with it. So do not try to implement lazy loading in that page, that particular page, because it will drastically some it might be a security concern. And also one more thing is, it is difficult to backtrack or debug the code. Second one is, keep your chunk sizes as small as possible. Here, what I would suggest is, suppose we have a component in our application. We have seen we have lazy parent and lazy child component. So keep only the necessary import sections. Okay. For example, in the lazy parent here, in my code, you can see I have kept only the necessary imports and necessary selectors or template URLs, style URLs, only necessary code I have kept, and nothing much complicated. And it will basically, what it will do is, if you use a third party URLs or libraries or packages, it is try avoiding those things. Third one is, use router states to show loader or animation when a lazy loaded route is being fetched, so they do not think your application lags. So suppose I have a page, and it has huge amount of data even after implementing lazy loading. So in that time, what I would suggest is, just implement something, some spinner kind of thing, so that they won't think there is a lag. And in that scenario, I would suggest just go with the spinner or notification thing, so that it will be loaded whenever you want the page to display. So that is the thing I want to say. Apart from that, all the application, this application, as well as the slides, everything will be I'll be keeping in this repository. So I'll be providing this repository later. So that's all from my end, Rashmi.
All right, Pranam, thank you so much for the presentation. We have a lot of questions here, and the good part is that people are helping each other. Pradeep had a question, and Prasad is sort of answering, or vice versa, I guess. So thank you so much, guys, for coordinating among yourself and helping each other. Lovely seeing that. So let's take some questions. Let's take some questions from the question
Sure.
section. I'll read out these questions for you. Okay, so let me go at the end first. Okay, so Prashad has a question and it is on your screen. Can you see the question? It's on your screen.
Yes, yes.
It says how to add lazy loading in existing project.
So first thing is, is you have to define your component, like I said, like lazy parent and lazy child. And after that, you have to configure this path and structure in the app routing.module.ts file, as well as in the app module. So once you configure that, then you can proceed with the lazy loading. So you can take this as an example. I will provide you this project so you can make use of it.
Okay. The next question is by Sunil, and it's pretty simple. Says, why do we include lazy loading?
The main part is increase the response time and minimize the resource consumption. As we have seen in demo project, it increases the response time and minimizes the resource consumption. That is the main advantage by using lazy loading.
Okay. Next question is by Himanshu, and it's on your screen again. It says, which type of loading is better among eager, free, and lazy? In which scenario will one outperform the other?
Yeah, so we have two scenarios. One is eager loading or preloading, and second one is lazy loading. So eager loading, what will happen is we are hitting the DB or server at one time. In lazy loading, we are hitting the DB or server for multiple times. In eager loading, it is I think you can prefer eager loading when it comes to small application. Everything will be loaded at once in eager loading. When you do ngserve, everything will be loaded. So it is required when we have a small application and all the user behaviors will be very known, well known. That time you can go with the eager loading. Second one is lazy loading. In lazy loading, what I would prefer is when you have a larger application, and that time you can prefer lazy loading. So it will be using like multiple hits to the DB and server. That is the advantage and disadvantage, I can say, with eager and lazy loading.
All right. Next question is by Biswa, and it's on your screen again. So it says,
Yeah.
if I register my component to a lazy module, all my existing project can accompany lazy loading. Is that it?
Uh, if I register my components to a lazy module, all my existing project can. Yes, yes. Like it is like you can make use of it anywhere in your project. It's like global kind of thing.
Okay. Next question is by Kavita.
In order to install what we did.
In order to install, what we
Yeah.
need to install CMD for lazy loading. I didn't.
Yes. Yeah. So for that, I would suggest you to execute the commands which I have mentioned. For example, creating the lazy component, you can use something like ng gc, uh, whatever your component name, and you can use that one. I can mention this one in the chat window. Yeah.
Okay. Next question is by Kavita again. It says, if it is occupying lots of resources, then performance-wise, it is degradation. How you improve the efficiency of it?
Uh, it won't take a lot of resources when we implement lazy loading. So that is how it works, right? It won't take much resources. It will take, as we have seen in the initial loading of the page, all the bundle files getting loaded, and when we implemented lazy loading, only one chunk file got generated. So that time there is a very less resource, I can say. In the first time, there are five, six bundle files which are getting generated. So in this way, we can achieve.
All right. Next question is by Javik, and it says, how can we do lazy loading in a grid?
When it comes to grid, I can suggest you to use infinite scrolling. There is a material or package in Angular, CDK virtual scroll. That one you can prefer. I can suggest you in the chart window, so you can go with that. Yep.
Okay. One last question by Biswa again, and it says, I see that in Roots itself we conclude whether to lazy load or not. So what if I have a single page application where let's say I have only one root?
Uh, I see that in routes itself we conclude whether to lazy load or not. Okay. Here one route is necessary in every Angular project. So that is the first thing. So we will be having either app routing module or any routing module. So one routing module will be there by default in any Angular project. So there itself you can mention the path, right? For example, say what I can say something like this. I have mentioned in the chart window. So something like this we can use in the routing file. Like a path we can mention and load children you can mention. So that one you can configure it in your route. One routing is mandatory in any Angular project.
Okay, wonderful. Let's see if I have any other question. Okay, Kavita has asked one more question. Guys, if I missed any question, let me know. This says, which applications lazy loading suits? We have Karma, Jasmine, Protector. So we have n number of Angular application. So do we need to choose lazy loading?
Which application? Lazy loading suits. We have Karma Jasmine Protractor. So we have n number of Angular JS applications. So do we need to choose lazy loading? Uh, yes, definitely. I would suggest you to go with the lazy loading. So it will improve your performance of the application.
All right, everyone. I think that was the last question of the session, and this brings us to the end. However, before we wrap this up, I have few important announcements for everyone, right? So let me just Okay. So we have, as mentioned at the start of the session as well, we have created an exclusive community for developers to connect with like-minded people and build their network. It's a Slack community. Do join us there to stay updated with events like these and to get some amazing career opportunities. I will be dropping the link in the chat section, right? And you can join us on Slack. Secondly, Recro is hiring talented developers. Check out all our job openings at recro.io/career and get a chance to work with amazing startup and work with latest technology. You can also follow us on our social media, on our LinkedIn and Instagram page to stay updated with everything that is happening in tech and all the sessions that we have done so far. We will be uploading the same on, we have already uploaded the same on YouTube, and this one will also get uploaded on YouTube, and you will also get the recording of the session as well. So again, I'll be sharing the link in the chat, and you can subscribe to the YouTube channel there and get notified as and when the new webinar is is getting uploaded. And I think Pranam has already shared his social media profiles as well, so you can follow him on GitHub and you can follow him on LinkedIn as well to stay updated with all things in Angular. Also, we would love to hear your feedback about this session. It would be great if you can, take out just a minute of your time and give us your valuable feedback. So I am just sharing the link of everything that I have said in the chat. And again, you will also be getting an email after this, which will have all these links. So make sure you please, take out a minute to fill up the feedback form and everything. Okay. So I think we have some other questions as well. Pranam, do you want to take them up if you have time?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah,
Sure,
yeah.
sure, sure. Okay. Uh, all right. So Biswa has a question. It says exactly if it is that efficient, we should always lazy load all chunks. What is the bottleneck?
Uh,
The
exactly,
disadvantages.
if it is that
The
efficient.
disadvantages of using lazy loading.
The disadvantage, what I can say is the main part, we should not lazy load when we have some login pages or something like that, or security concern when it comes to. So I would suggest not lazy load that one. Second part is user experience might affected. For example, as I said, if the page structure is not optimal, then that time it might impact when you backtrack your application. For example, say debugging the code that time.
Great.
Hope I have answered.
Yeah, yeah. Let's take one last question. Uh, it's by Janu. Okay, it says in React 2, we if you can just read that out.
Yeah. In React, we can do component-based and route-based splitting. In this talk, we have considered route-based lazy loading. Is there any similar in Angular? I'm not aware of how lazy loading works in React, but as I said, in Angular, we can implement by using this way. For example, create a lazy parent or a component and call it in your app routing module and use it in the lazy module.ts file. So in this way you can achieve lazy loading in Angular.
All right. So I think, guys, that brings us to the end of this wonderful session. I have shared the link to our Slack channel. You can join our Slack community to be a part of to connect with like-minded people. And the link of the feedback form is again in the chat section. Please take out 1 minute and do share your feedback, and other links you will get in the email that I have already spoken about about our social media and everything. So that brings us to the end of the wonderful session. Thank you so much, guys, for being the lovely audience. Thank you so much, Pranam, for joining us and taking out the time and sharing the insights with the audience. I hope people enjoyed it and had fun. And thanks again, guys, for taking out the time on a Saturday, on a weekend to join us. Thank you so much. And I hope to see you guys in the next one. We have more events lined up. Stay tuned and we shall be back with more events soon. Thank you so much, Pranam, for
Sure.
joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, guys. Have a good day. Bye.